Okay. Ooh. All right. So this morning, um, looking over a couple of stocks, T-Nun had popped up out of nowhere. T-O-N or T-N-O-N. We also saw How on the day, H-O-W. We had PSTV up there as well. All right. So it looks like we got them all. Let's jump over here to the scans real quick. Good morning, Donnell. Yep, both fading. See that. Was looking around, expecting something from yesterday, but it looks like the things from yesterday took some dumps as well. PBL, or I don't know if PBLA was moving yesterday, but yeah, it was moving up yesterday. But it's back down to 68 cents now. Uh, I've I've been reconstructing my TOS setup to get the best setup that I can possibly get. I'm using the monthly, using the weekly chart, daily chart, hour chart, and the 15 minutes. So those are my charts that I'm using. Over here on this screen is the monthly chart. So when I'm over here looking in the morning, I want to see what these things have been doing over the last couple of months, and you know, kind of gauge some different areas that may be of interest on the day. But everything else is looking like it's under $1. We got MVOS over here, 32 cents, up 26%. I have my news on the other screen, so we'll check out the news in a little bit. But I usually add them to the watch list if they're worth watching. And MVOS just, I don't know if it's going to be worth watching. ATR of 5 cents, so not really presenting a whole lot of profit taking probability. But anyway, let's go ahead and look at Howl and TNON to see what's going on with them. Oh, before I do that, yesterday I did take one trade on OLED. OLED, I saw this thing taking an exhaustive move down here towards this, where was it? Towards this 11 whatever. Actually, I got to show y'all on the monthly why I took the trade actually. Let's go to OLED. So this thing looks crazy from yesterday. Had a move up from $10 all the way up to $19. I was looking, because this thing didn't have much history here, so it's, I mean, it just recently started trading, not a whole lot of, or this is just the months, I guess. This is 2022, and I was marking these levels off on the monthly. The 1150, the 1118 was basically my bottom line. If it went below that, you know, I just couldn't do anything with it. I would just stop out of whatever position. And then we had the 1160 down here. And I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna let this thing play around and see if I can't get an entry around 12. I think at that time it was 1271. Was an interesting spot on the other charts. Let's jump over here to the other charts. Looking at the weekly and the daily over here. So on the weekly, daily again, finding little levels around the 1119. And then on the daily chart, we saw this daily chart, a previous level right here, 271. Now, this is why I was choosing 271 as a point of interest. And I entered a little bit early, but the good thing about my entry is it was small, and I was able to enter more under that entry. So, the first entry that I got was at 13 1325, around 1325, and I was like, that was a kind of high buy, and it started dumping, and I was like, okay, it's trying to get to that 1271, and so it started dumping. I added at 1290, 1280, 1270, and then right around 1270, I was like, okay, this thing's gonna slow down a little bit, and it pushed further down to the like the 11s here on this chart. 11, like right around 11-ish, and it just held there. So I added a little bit more around 11. In total, I took about 510 shares on this one, looking for it to start holding up that 1271, which it did come back up to 1271, got over it, and gave me a little bit of profit to the upside on those 500 shares. The big thing about this one, even though the chart doesn't look so good, the range, I am range focused. I don't care about volume until after I see the range. What is the range of this? What is the possible range that this thing can give? If it's got 1,000,000 shares, but it can give $5 range, I'm good with that. Now, 1,000,000 shares is pretty much the bottom line. I need you to get at least 1,000,000 shares traded on the day before I even look at you. But after you get that 1,000,000 shares, that range is like where it's at. So I entered at that third, and I got after buying lower, I brought my average price down. Actually, I think my first buy, let me go look at this. Count details, day trade. So let's look at the buys and the sales here. So my buys, I had a buy here at 1348, 1340s, whatever. And so, okay, I was a little bit higher than 1325. Okay, so 13, right under the 1350 was where I started buying. And then it kept dropping, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna continue to add. And I think my last ads were around 1228, whatever. And then it came back and reclaimed. I had a ad right here, 1236. And then it came back up and started to reclaim that 1270 level, so I added some more back towards that level, and then it popped over. Oh, I did get some more buys. Yeah, I was right. I got some buys around 11 as well, down there at 11. So I got quite a bit of ads in here. These are very small ads, but they end up getting up to 500 shares pretty quick. But I'm glad I didn't do the 500 shares here at 1348. That would have been tragic. If I bought 500 shares here and then it did this drop down to 11, holding through that amount of pain isn't really what I'm looking to do. So I just size down, get the position built out, and I really have not been taking like one stop positions, like just putting in the whole thing and that's it. I'm usually entering multiple different slots of this thing. But anyway, after we got the buys, now this was where my last buy was, 1186, and my first sale was back up here at 1360. So that is a nice little rebound from down there. And then I got some more sales, 1360, 1355. Now remember, my average price was $13. So I'm up 15 cents, or not 15 cents, 50 cents on those 500 shares. So that's pretty nice. And I mean, to be honest, when I was looking at the ATR, the ATR yesterday was $1.11. So my target was 25% of $1.11. So I would have been good with 27 cents. And so I pretty much, I wasn't gonna let it go back below 27 cents. I'm gonna get at least 27 cents on those 510 shares. But I sold some around this level and it kept going. So I just continued to just take profit, right? Just take profit on the way up. When it started to slow down a little bit too much, I was like, yeah, all right, I'm just gonna take the whole thing off. So that was about 250 bucks on that trade. And I was like, well, I'm just gonna be happy where I'm sitting. If it wants to explode, it can explode with smaller size. Anyway, back over to the things that we were looking to trade today. That was just a little briefing on the trade from yesterday. PSTV, we're looking around here. PSTV did kind of fade off a little bit, still up 13%. Howl is also down a little bit as well. And then T-Nun. Now T-Nun has a previous level back here, it looks like, of 140 that it's coming back into. Let's actually look across the charts and see if we can find any kind of identifiable levels here. So jumping over here on T-Nun first, since it's the top, looking at the monthly chart, we can see this thing has gotten torn out the frame on the monthly. Big old transition. Maybe this was a reverse split or something to cause this type of price action. But we can see back here, there's a top side around what, 250s? Like right around 250s. And the thing that I really like to identify on these levels is the indecisive portions of the level. So like if I go, let's scoop back. I like looking at these indecision bars, especially to the downside. But like one like this that stopped right in the middle. Let's look at any more. We got this one up here, 232. 221. I like to spot these indecision levels to see kind of like how they're playing. And these are months. So this is 1 month. This is 2 months. Here's another one, 192, 176. And we can see based on the movement, like these indecisions, look who's winning on these indecisions every time. These are sellers winning on these months. It went up here to 310 and then back down to 2. So it can definitely cover some range going back down to the downside. Let's jump over here to the other chart. This is our weekly chart. And at this point, looking at this weekly chart, it's kind of, let me zoom back here. We can see that it had a little bit of trading around the 150. I think below that 150, that 150 starts to break down. Either buyers are going to come in or sellers are just going to take it on down. Got 119 as a low as well. So a lot of possible breakdown spots on this one. We kind of have to see. And with these lower price ones, their ranges are so tight. You see how these levels that I just put on the other chart, they're so tight here. When you get to the higher price stocks, they get a little bit wider and easier to see. You know, I just don't like all of this. It's just a little bit too convoluted. You really don't know what levels. It just looks like a bunch of lines on the charts. And that's not what I'm looking for. Obvious, something that stands out, that can be tested as the possible support. But yeah, getting rid of all of those. Let's jump over here to Howl, HOWL. So looking at its monthly chart, had a nice little descent from 18s all the way back down here to the $3, low of the 139, and has been trading around this this level right above the 139 here. The price right now is 258. So 258, where's 258? 250, right around 260s in there. And so we got a little bit more, we got a little bit less fighting room here. The top side on the monthly is maybe the $4, but I don't know if it'll be able to get that push. We'll have to see what the news is talking about. Let's jump over here to the weekly chart. Let's see, weekly. So on the weekly chart, we can see, yeah, that's looking like it's gonna be like, if it gets to $4, this thing could find a little bit of resistance up here. And we can see previously when it hit this level how big of a dump it had on the weekly chart. And you got to understand, with a dump on the weekly chart, it could have taken a while to do that dump. So let's transition on to the daily chart. So it looks like on the daily chart, we can see this dump right here took 1, 2, 3, 4 days to dump down here. So, you know, bag holders had quite a bit of a ride sitting in there every day as that thing dumped. If we look on the daily chart, what price is this thing at now? 255. So it's right around this lat, and it's been making lower highs as well. So it had a previous high, then a lower high in a fail, and then a lower high in a fail, and then a lower high in a fail. So just being mindful of what it is doing on the day could definitely help you. But right now it's at 255, and I don't know a area where it would be a good buying area just yet. It's coming back into some previous. If you look on the daily chart, and this is for traders that only look at the daily chart, they don't really expand to any other time frame. On the daily chart, this can look pretty good, you know, in here between 210 and 250. If it can start to hold here, I'm sure the traders will try to take this trade above $2 to see if they can get some play. Looking on the 15-minute chart, it has a little bit of a move, but I wouldn't call this an exhaustive move. I would, you know, this is the 15-minute, not the hour. So if it does another red candle or something, kind of revisits this point down here, maybe 225s, maybe we can start being like, okay, this is looking like an exhaustive move, especially if the volume increases off of the open. So just keeping our eyes around 225 and maybe $2. If it gets past $2, it's pretty much done. It's already only 17% up on the day. And if it drops down here to 231, it might be under 10%. You know, that's almost a 7% move even to 225. So we'll just see what it wants to do. PSTV still doing this thing. It was a previous mover. Let's look at if any of these had any kind of oh, Lori, good morning. She says PSTV has hey, PSTV is that will always spark lightning in the hearts of men. Uh but yeah, PSTV coming out with a nice little breast cancer, breast medical news application there. And of course, we've seen this before. Sometimes it's unexpected. It just pops up. It just doing, you know. So we can keep that one on watch. But those are the four, or not the four. I already went over OLED, my trade from yesterday. But the three that I'm actually watching today is PSTV, HOWL, and T9. And I'm gonna start off the day probably watching T9 out of the open. It's up 55%, so you know we'll see what the top gainer is gonna do on the day. Jump back over here to the scans real quick. All right, invoice. And another thing I've been meaning to get to is the actual trade journal that I use that I never end up showing because I'm lazy. So the trade journal that I use is TraderSync right here. Looking at my metrics right here, since I've been using this new strategy, it has increased my win percentage. Earlier this year, my win percentage, I was taking a couple trades, a lot more trades. But the win percentage was like right around 48%. But since I've been using this strategy, I've bumped it up almost 60% win rate. And you can see it's kind of just panning out. And every month I'm taking about maybe 6 to 8 trades a month or something like that. Max consecutive wins on the year is 13 consecutive wins. Max consecutive losses 5, and you can see my trades from the last 2 trades that I took. One on November 2nd, which was yesterday, 246, and then pi, and then this is my losers. But in comparison to my winners, I want to keep my losers, you know, pretty small. I keep my stocks pretty tight, especially on things that go against the statistics that I have, the things that are lower price. As you can see, this one is $13. This one is $61. This one $5, $5, $13, 13, 32, and I really have found that I mean around like $2 and something, man, The thing that made me transition to this strategy was I had one big loser. And I was like, bruh, how did I lose this much money? It was two reasons. One, the price of the ticker that I was trading was like around $2, and I refused to sell. Refused to sell. And it killed my profit. It was like a grand loss. It was like $1,000 loss. And after that, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna focus on accuracy. I want every single trade to be A plus. I'm not taking anything that's not A plus. And so I just looked at my statistics, got this, and TraderSync, their pricing is pretty good. Let me see, TraderSync pricing. I actually have a code for TraderSync actually that I forgot about. Whoops. TraderSync pricing. It is AI based, so and they do have a free version, but I wouldn't recommend the free version. Um, I would say go ahead and get the regular. I think it's like 26 a month for. They have Pro, Elite. This isn't the one I'm looking for. Pricing TraderSync. This one might be a better one. Okay, yeah. So the Pro is 26. The premium is 43, and the Elite is 69. To be honest, most people will probably be good with the Pro. Premium and Elite gives you more AI variation in your playbacks. You can do like it's so many things you can do here. But I'm gonna get my code. I forgot the code, bro. I'll get that for y'all. I just forgot. But yeah, that's the trade journal that I use, and I'm looking to use this strategy to continue to get my win percentage up because it used to be higher than this. But I just started trading, picking up the trade frequency and exposing myself to the market more often with more trades just wasn't good for me. But yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. You made a lot of money on ALDX. Wouldn't have noticed. Oh yeah. Look, we're looking all over the market. We're looking all over. You know. Um, and not only just looking all over the market, we're looking all over the market for range. What on today is giving range? And that possibility of range can carry over. If it gives $1 range every single day, why not trade it, right? You can get an easy 20, 30, 40 cents off of it. Well, I say easy. Depending on your strategy, it can be easy and your patience. Because I'm telling you, Donnell sits, when I post in Discord that I'm about to take a trade, Donnell looks at some of these trades that I'm about to take, and he's like, bruh, this thing is dead, bro. This thing is dead. But I'm like, we'll be patient. I get in when nobody's looking at it, when it is dead, and FOMO comes in. People like, whoa, they jump over there after it starts to wake up, and they're like, wow, this thing's moving $1, $2, whatever. Let's get in. And I'm like, yes, come in here. You know, I like to get in when everybody else is like, man, that thing's gone, bro. That thing's dead, man. That's crazy. That's when I'm getting in. Um, but yeah, T9, how still going down. Okay. T9 up 74%, almost 75% up here, looking like the 150 is going to become its determining level. If we look back a little bit, we can see this level here. It did trade right under the 150 for a while. A couple of days here from November 1st, pretty much back here to October 24th is when it kind of entered this range. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, yeah, I try my best to keep my winner. The biggest thing that was hurting me was one, I'm trading in a cash account. Two, I I felt like if I take this trade and it doesn't work out, it made me angry. And I was like, why am I feeling angry? Because let's say if I plan to take 10 trades in a day and I take 10 trades in a day, but the first trade doesn't work. The second trade doesn't work. The third trade doesn't work. And I'm like, what's wrong with me? You know? So I had to kind of zero in on what I was messing up on and why these emotions was coming in. And so I found that by decreasing the frequency of the trade, I only have to manage my emotions for one trade. So I'm like, okay, the shake and bake. Like I was talking to Donnell yesterday in the Discord about the shake and bake. They're trying to push people out. If we go over here, I was this is me and Donnell talking in the Discord. Where did this start? Where did I call out what I was getting into? So here I am at 9 a.m. A lot of stuff all around. I'm looking at OLED right now. This was my call out at 9 a.m. yesterday. Donnell called out PBLA, and I was still looking at one that I had recently traded. I took profit on and got out of that one. That was the one that y'all saw, the $60 one. Donnell was like, attention's all over the place. I was looking at the test, a breakdown of the 14 on OLED. And OLED was like my main focus yesterday, I ain't gonna lie. And it was, I got in that thing and started getting in, building the position out. And yeah, that's how it was going. And also, I got a little dividend drop yesterday that I was telling Donnell about in the Discord as well. The dividends, them dividends be coming through, baby. Oh yeah. So, you know, that's what we do. If I can't stream, I always get into the Discord and make sure that we have some sort of communication. It's just like texting or anything else. We can also do video calls in there. I haven't jumped in there and did a video call in a minute because usually I'm on a black site where Discord is not allowed. So I work in IT, and some apps, some things are just they're banned. You can't even open up the application on any unit on the site. So and sometimes I have to get on my own wireless or on my own type of thing, but nothing on their network can access it. But yeah, we are making moves. The market is about to open. I literally just looked down and saw that. I was like, oh, market's opening. Okay. Oh, this is the last day for Street Smart Edge as well. So I'll be flipping over to TOS. I already have the setup back here. This is my other TOS here. I'll have the hour and the 15-minute and all of that. But yeah, this is the last day I will see this application open. So I took my last trade, green trade on Street Smart Edge, and saying goodbye, leaving green, but still using the same strategy. So we'll see. Out of the open, looking at T9 out of the open, up here around the 150, trading right around the 150. Let's go ahead and set some resistance out here. So we'll see if it can get over this level, the body of this previous candle, for resistance here. We'll also keep an eye on Howl, up 19% as well. Had a previous level up here at the 285. Mark that as resistance. Nice little battle area. And where I think that it can go is around the 231s, like right around the 225s, but we'll kind of see how it plays out there. T9 showing some green back up here, but letting this first candle kind of show us where the market wants to go. Also, speaking of the market, the SPY is all the way back over the 430s. The SPY has been on now the SPY is probably, or the overall market sentiment change is probably the reason that my dividends are up so high right now. I mean, my whole portfolio just went straight up. Like, I was like, what? I was like, man, I still want to buy some stuff, but it's whatever. I can continue to buy in the green, so it'll just be an average up instead of an average down. And also with TraderSync, I do have my dividend stuff in there as well. But with the dividend stuff, it isn't the same management system because I'm not really buying and selling. I'm holding these things. So it just shows me what positions are open, and like if I do sell them, was it a sell for the green or was it a sell, like that kind of thing. But that's that's on down the line. I'm not looking to sell those things. T9 getting up above this resistance level quite quickly. But like I said, this is the first little bit of the 15-minute. Howl looking like it wants to dive down. Let's see that 225 test. And the big question is, can it hold $2? If it does get going down, can it even hold $2? And the other thing is, if it does go down super low, if it does go down super low to $2, will it even be on people's scans? If it's like 3% gainer or something like that. I always like to think, okay, at this moment, at this point in time, if people open up their scanners, will they see this one? You know, and I'm thinking they'll probably see T9 being up 60%, but as Howe continues to descend, you know, the love for it descends. PSTV going on down as well, only up 7%. Okay, let's jump over here to the scan. So you can see my top gainer scanner. The only two on here are T9 and Howe. Now, for the top gainer scanner, the ATR has to be above 10 cents. So if it doesn't have a range that can easily give 10 cents, it's not going to be on this scanner. You know, I'm looking for something with a little bit of range. Down here on the top volume, everything can show up here. So not too interested in this. I can kind of close that and just usually during intraday, I just focus on these two scanners. I want to see small cap rangers or low float rangers that are lower float and giving a nice range, or the top gainers that have ATR above 10%, or not 10%, 10 cents. Good morning, Mike. Let me read. RexCon says, so are your winners bigger? Yeah. Yeah, my winners are bigger than my losers are like $12. My losers, I really try to cut them around $20. I ain't gonna lie. Like if I lose $20, I'm like, I'm wrong. But you know, with the way that I'm entering, most of the time I don't get to the, like if I had like on OLED that I went over earlier, um if I'm entering small, like my first position on this one was like 25 something shares. So that little drop, it did a $2 drop, but it really didn't affect me because I knew I was trying to get to a 500 share position. So I was like, I'm still getting better prices to get to full size for what I wanted to do for this one. So, you know, yes, the loser was above $20, but I wasn't even at full position yet. So when I get to full position, I'm expecting to move back in my direction. So, but yeah, for the most part, my losers are definitely smaller than my winners. And then Mike D jumped in the chat as well. Mike D, um, he's definitely been a part of the community, getting active. T9, everything's looking a little bit red, but nothing's really reached down to those levels that we kind of thought that they could get to. T9, I really, if T9 goes below $1, that's probably gonna be game over for it today. It may do a small bounce, but I mean, it's a dollar breakdown. Who buys a dollar break? I can see the dollar break up where it's breaking over $1, but a dollar breakdown, uh, I don't know. I would not want to see it below $1, but how? Okay, let's see. I see another one popped up there. MCRB, MCRB. 25% here. MCRB coming off the bottom here above $1. So this is a dollar break over during intraday. And let's go and look at what kind of news it has. MCRB. So MCRB does not have any news that sits out here today. Last piece of news was yesterday. If we look on the monthly chart for this thing, zoom this back a little bit, it has been fighting a little bit of a downtrend, had a blow up. Oh, got another one popping up there, RDFN. It's up 22%. Okay, let me add that one over here, RDFN. And so y'all can see the scanners, like once I get focused on these top volume movers and these two, I limit how much of the market that I need to see. You know, I go and check on the SPY and go and check on other little things, but you know, limiting, not seeing 100 tickers on the scanner and having this thing just tunnel vision in on what's giving range and movement, it helps a lot, you know. But let's go look at RDFN and see what they got going on over here. It says Wedbush lowers Redfin's profit target to 8 from 11. If we look on the daily chart, we can see they had a little bit of a gap up here. They had a couple of gap ups from 473 up here to 502, and then a nice gap up here to 6. Let's actually look at the monthly chart on this and see if we can identify any levels on Redfin. So had a previous level at 14, dropped from 14, had a low, and since we're day trading, we really just want to look at this 1 month. This is 1 month. It had a nice descent from 16 down here to 10, then all the way down. So the bottom is 470. Don't really want to see it below 470. And then back here, I like to look at the indecision levels. So this was big indecision with the shorts winning on this day right here. 734, that's kind of big and noticeable. This one is another indecision where the longs push this thing up on this month. So 493 up here to 537 could be a level to watch as well. I like to look at those indecision levels in the zone. So looking at that and then jumping over here to the weekly chart, can we see any other indecision levels that could come into play that are in this zone? So we've already marked, we know this is the bottom, this is the top, and we got a little one right here. Let me zoom back on the weekly. This right here, very thin, very thin at the 622. And then we'll scroll up. Do we see anything else in this level that could be indecision? Not really. This one down here at the 5, not too worried about that one. It's already in a zone anyway. So, you know, that 622 is becoming a little bit of resistance on this one. We look on Redfin, and this is why looking back at the bigger charts can save you money. Like you may be running into resistance and not even knowing why, because you're not looking at a big enough time frame. But yeah, 622, we'll see how that holds up. MCRB, so this is our watch list for right now. I'll probably do a little bit of cleanup in a little bit if one of these wants to go ahead and dump, but MCRB is our biggest mover from the open, up 18% right now with 2 million shares traded. Now, if we look on the average volume, and I actually built the average volume calculator in the in Thinkorswim. I already got the script for it. Because they didn't have one. They had this in, I wish they had this in you know, this function in TOS, but they don't. So just coming over here, I can see that the average year-to-date volume is 2,375,000 whatever, and you can see it's just now hitting its average. As for these up here, we can see that this has much higher relative volume. This thing regularly gets almost 80,000 shares, and now it has 16 million. So we know relative volume is definitely big on this one. And this is why I have my relative volume calculator over here on Thinkorswim, which is right here, which shows how many deviations it is away from its normal range of volume. Right there, 9.8 deviations, basically is what it's saying. But yeah, a lot of information to be covered there. Let's see what y'all got here. Rick Sun says $20 on losers. Yeah. My winners. Oh yeah, I showed my winners. They're like 100 to 200 bucks is my winners. So, you know, I can lose a couple before I start feeling it. But I try not to lose a couple. Of course, I'm looking for A+ setups. Good morning, Jim. So, looking at this thing going back towards a dollar, only 14 cents away from a dollar. Kind of, you know, kind of a risky one, and it's a lower price, and I really just don't do good with these lower price ones closer to a dollar because I refuse to sell. I don't know why I can't hit the sell button. I'm like, man, this thing is cheap. I can hold this thing. Nah, nah, bro. T9 flipping back, trying to come back green, trying to go up to the 150, holding this resistance level. Previous high of the previous candle was 148. Looking like it's trying to flip that red to green. But I don't know. Redfin, if they do a nice little pullback, Redfin might be better. Let me go and look at some of these floats too. I haven't even looked at them. Let's go. So we are looking at T9 out of the rip. What is your float? Float of 2.24 million on T9. Redfin is looking like Redfin looking like, oh, it's a little bit higher float. I don't know. Well, this is on one site, so let's go over here and check this somewhere else. RDFN, Redfin. Float, yeah, that's a little bit higher float than what we're usually trying to look for. 100 million. So Redfin, where is this one? Yeah, yeah, that's too high for what we look for, man. Next one is MCRB, which is headed back to a dollar anyway, but I'm guessing it's probably got a low float, which is why people are tempted by it today. Let's see MCRB. Its float isn't that small either. What is going on? MCRB. See, this is why it's good to know what you're trading, bro. You'd be like, man, why is this thing so choppy? It's got 96 million in the float, bro. It's not going anywhere. Let's go to Howl. HOWL. 22 million in the float. Okay, that one's a little bit more manageable. I'm gonna go ahead and take off Redfin. Don't really care about that one. The float's too high. MCRB float too high. And we'll see about Howl now. So 22, let's jump over here and see if that correlates. Float of 13.66. So one says 22, one says 13, but still way lower than the other ones. Let's see if it has any kind of shelves or anything like that over here. It does have a shelf registration from 2022, the beginning of 2022. So with shelf registrations, last for 2 years, regular ones at least. But you know, could come into play, could not. Let's see the short interest on how. Can it be one of those Friday poppers where it pops back up? Short interest, short percent float. Ooh, very low. Very low. That's not good. We need to see people sitting on this thing. A lot of times when you're looking for short percent float, you're looking for like 4%, 5% and higher. You know, anything over like 30% is great. But this thing has 0.22%, and this was updated 20 minutes ago. This is a 20-minute delay. So not a whole lot of short sitting on how. Let's check somewhere else if short float, short interest. See, look how small this little, the shorts aren't even on this thing. Is this how? Yeah. Look how small this short interest is. We need to see those shorts looking to get blasted. Back over to T9. Let's check their short interest. Short interest again. Is this the right? Look at how small this short interest is. Who wants to short this? Like, okay. So very, very low short interest on those. Let's check PSTV, which was the breast cancer one that we were talking about earlier. Oh my gosh, bro. These shorts are not on these. I don't. Okay, so over here on the scans, we got figs popping up. FIGS. I don't. Yeah, that's not what we're looking for, man. We need some shorts on these things. Figs. Okay, figs. So you popped out of nowhere. Do you have any news on you? News is looking like a clothing company. Ooh, I I don't think I've ever traded a clothing. Actually, that's a lie. When I first started trading, I think I got into some kind of clothing company that lost me some money. Was it Macy's or I forgot what it was, but I didn't have a big size in it, but it still was a loser. So I was just trying to learn a little bit about what to trade and how to make money quickly, but that was not it. Clothing companies just are death. Let's jump over here to Figs and see exactly what they're talking about. They got some short interest because they have a reason to be going down. Interest prices are up, food and all of this stuff prices are up. Of course, they're gonna have short interest because it's not a great buy. Let's look over here. Figs. Let's look at their statistics. They have a float of 127 million. That's gonna be a chop factory. So yeah. Okay. MCRB. MCRB still up 32%. Has not done a pullback yet. I mean, it's the only one that actually looks relatively okay for now. Redfin, let me take that off. Trash. PSTV, trash. How, trash. T9, I believe that was trash as well. So MCBR or MCRB is the one that is looking like the one, why people continue to push it. They have 4 million shares traded. It is doubled its average volume year to date, or almost doubled. But working on it. Looking for a pullback though. Let's go and look at the monthly chart. And did we do levels for this one? I don't even know. I don't even remember. So it had a previous level up here, what, 250s that stopped it last time. On the monthly chart overall, it has been fighting a downtrend, dropped from 5 down to 4, 3 down to 2, 2 down to 1. Had a low of 91 down here, but I mean, where historically, if we look back, there are no points of interest back here. So without the historical value in here, you never know how low it's gonna go. So I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know if I can trust it. For it to go back green on the month, it's gonna have to get over 151 here, which will probably get some enticement by buyers because it's a month that it'll be the first month going green after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months of falling. So maybe, but as a day trade, I don't know. We'll see. Um, let's see. Let's see. MCB, MCRB was pretty much the last one on the list that is surviving though. SPY continue to bundle up. Ooh, I bet my dividends are up so much. Oh my gosh, I can just feel the power. I can feel the power in my pockets. The other thing about TraderSync is they do have automatic broke, and I actually was in conversation with them about the automatic broker synchronization. So when you take a trade, let's say you take a trade in Thinkorswim, you don't have to import trades. It just automatically imports them, and it adjust your metrics based on it. But I was in talks trying to see about this switchover because I had it set up on my TD back way when I was using TD, but I've been manually importing with Street Smart Edge, and it has been a suffering way. I hate importing that stuff. All right, MCBR first 15 minute has taken quite a move. The 110 is the last level that it kind of shows some type of support, and then a big war zone and got pushed through. So we'll see how it holds up this 120-ish level. Is it going to start halting? Okay. I just saw it kind of slowing down there. 135s. We'll see what a pullback looks like. Will it pull back all the way to 121 or will it have to come back lower? Right now, VWAP is looking like 119-ish. Let me look on here. VWAP is looking like 120-ish. So about the same VWAP on these two. But huge move fighting all of this downplay right here. And I was wondering, so with TOS, I haven't used their level 2s in so long. These numbers, which are the bid and the ask, are they in hundreds or are they in thousands? What somebody that uses TOS, can you tell me that? Are these like 100, 200, 400, 500, 600, or are they in thousands? Because on Street Smart Edge, you can change that between 100 and 1,000, and I don't know exactly what this is, because they look like big numbers, 19 something sitting up there, but I don't really know. And I'm going to be trading with this next week, so I need to figure that out. Hundreds, okay, nice. Okay. And also, I got to get back used to using this active trader. Do y'all use active trader, or do y'all just use like the buy and sell, and then just the time and sell and stuff like this? Because I've been seeing a lot of people use active trader. I don't know if it's better or worse. I guess I just have to use it for a little bit to kind of get used to it. But like I said, I'm instituting the same strategy, but just on getting used to this new platform. I got my buys and sales, P&L open, all that stuff. Okay. Anyway, it is 8:55. We have seen the pretty much the mover on today. Time and sales level 2 AT. Nice. Okay. And I know a lot of people that do high frequency trading definitely use the AT ladder. They just be boop, boop, boop. So I don't know if I'm gonna need to do all of that, but it does seem like an easier entry into, and I do have it set up to auto send, so as soon as I press, it'll just go ahead and send that order and get me in there. I'm only doing buying on the ask, selling on the bid. I really don't need to sell on the bid or buy on the bid because of how low I'm buying. I need to get in when I need to get in. All right, so let's jump back over to Street Smart Edge. This will be the last time to see this one. Before I go off stream, I guess we'll close the stream down with Street Smart Edge up because it's about to go to the graveyard with no Monster Reborn. All right, but yeah, that's the stream for today. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. I don't know how much I'll be looking at the market today with this kind of week in this week Friday action. But yeah, if you guys are going to continue trading, definitely keep your head on a swivel. And I will be back Monday morning, Hopefully you guys had a great month last month. I was nice and green last month. Coming into this month, working on really not too much focus on the profit. I'm focused on the accuracy. I want to be accurate every single trade. And if a trade fails, you can't win them all. But for the majority, I want the accuracy. But yeah, that is it for me today. Appreciate you guys once again. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.